It really has, Jennifer and Ron. Adriana was moved here to Emory Midtown on Tuesday. She's expected to remain on life support through August when doctors plan to deliver her baby by C-section. 30-year-old Adriana Smith is 22 weeks pregnant.
But she's not there. She's not there. But the baby's there.
April Newkirk says her daughter was declared brain dead on February 19th. Adriana was 8 weeks pregnant.
We wanted to know if she was to abort, would she have a chance at her life? And they said there was no chance or no hope.
In Georgia, the state's heartbeat law bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected.
So at that point, we continued with the pregnancy that we didn't have a choice or a say about. And I just want to be clear on something. We want her to have her baby. We want her life to continue throughout her children. But at the same time, to see her lay there like that, for that length of time, the grieving process for us, it can't even start. Because every time we go, we grieve and we hurt. And it's just unreal. It's unreal for anyone to go through this.
April says they named her daughter's baby Chance.
Because to me, he's getting a second chance.
Despite his mom's condition,
the baby is the right weight, a little bit over, which is a good sign. He has his legs, his toes, his limbs. Heartbeat is good and strong. It's just maybe because of the loss of consciousness with my daughter, the lack of oxygen that the baby didn't get. So that's where the cerebellum comes into place.
Baby Chance's future is still uncertain.
So the journey is for baby Chance to survive, and whatever condition God allows him to come here in, we're going to love him just the same. And we're going to embrace him.
But the state of Georgia denied Adriana her bodily autonomy and dignity in death. The days and weeks that followed, her family found themselves in a desperate battle with Emory Hospital. The hospital believed that the anti-abortion bill that Georgia enacted in 2022 following the gutting of Roe v. Wade tied the hospital's hands, mandating that Adriana's body, her brain-dead body, remain hooked to machines, not because there was any chance of survival. She had already transitioned, but because Adriana was 9 weeks pregnant, about a month past a missed period, Adriana's body has been turned into an incubator. An incubator with no medical rationale, no ethical reason, and no compassion. Mr. Speaker, from the days of enslavement, black women's bodies have been subject to medical abuse, assault, and degradation in this country. We are more likely to die in childbirth. We are routinely denied medical care. We are dehumanized. And like the case of Adriana Smith, our bodies and our dignity are desecrated in death. This is cruelty. The latest episode in a long history of the experimentation and exploitation of black bodies. I grieve for Adriana's family for the torture they are experiencing, layered with the daily uncertainty they are navigating as they try to do right by their daughter and lay her to rest peacefully. Her parents are by her bedside. Her 5-year-old asks, "When will mommy wake up?" Adriana should be here today. Her blood clots treated, her voice trusted, her pain believed. She should be decorating a nursery for her little son with her family and celebrating her son's last day of kindergarten. But Adriana's body lies hooked to machines in a hospital bed as part of an unjust medical experiment for more than 3 months. No family should have to endure this. None of us are free until all of us are free. I yield.
30-year-old Adriana Smith was about 9 weeks pregnant when she started having bad headaches in February.
They gave us some medication, but they didn't do any tests.
The next morning, Adriana's boyfriend noticed something was terribly wrong. Unfortunately, there was nothing doctors could do. Doctors declared Adriana brain dead because of Georgia's heartbeat bill, which bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected. Her family says they weren't given any say in what happens next. Now, 21 weeks pregnant, her baby's health uncertain.
My grandson may be blind, may not be able to walk, wheelchair bound. We don't know if he'll live once she has him. And I'm not saying that we would have chose to terminate her pregnancy. What I'm saying is we should have had a choice.
It's so heartbreaking to see this new trend. I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but there is this trend that's going around. Women who are pregnant are posting pictures of themselves, full belly, beautiful as hell. And their caption on their video, it says, if anything happens during my delivery or during my pregnancy, save me and not the baby. And I find that so sad. I find that so sad because it's like, how the fuck did we get here? How did we get here? Because once upon a time, that was the thing. Save the mom, not the baby. If we could save both, let's save both. But main focus was save the mom. And now there is this... And the sad part about this is because the first video that I seen, the caption at the bottom said that she lives in Georgia. She lives around the corner from the hospital that they have this lady at right now on life support just to bring this baby here. Which is so crazy because they have already said that there's a possibility that so many things can happen, so many things can go wrong during this whole pregnancy and the delivery, to the point where there may be issues in the long run. I'm sorry. I'm emotional as fuck all the fucking time, so I apologize. But that trend there really fucked me up this morning. It really fucked me up this morning. And that's what I get for picking up my phone as soon as I wake the fuck up. That's what I get. Oh my God. But yeah, anyways, and people wonder why I do not want any more children. I do. I'm not gonna lie, I do. Especially a little girl, I would love. But I'm afraid. Because look at what the fuck is happening to us.
Adriana Smith had her autopsy this week. So sorry, they're calling it a C-section. They're calling it a C-section when they kept a woman who was brain dead for 114 days on a ventilator in an ICU. You know, she was a nurse. She was a 31-year-old nurse. I'll be 31 next week. I'm a nurse and a doctor. And that could have been me. That could have been me, against my will, against my family's wishes, watching a 100% brain dead daughter whom they loved while taking care of her 7-year-old daughter in an ICU, fighting with the hospital and the state and the country with no options. That could have been me. That could have been you. I hope that you share every video that mentions Adriana Smith's name. I hope that you comment her name on everything that you can. I hope that her name goes into textbooks and becomes synonymous with how we do not treat women in this country, how we do not treat humans, how we do not take autonomy and justice for granted as doctors. This isn't okay. This was never okay. And it got overshadowed by all the other crazy things going on in this country. But her world ended in February. February. Do you remember Valentine's Day? Because I don't. That's how long ago it was. That is how long they have kept this woman who was not alive, tied to machines and IVs and beeping. And I can just not imagine the suffering that her family had to watch.
I live in a red state, and let me just say that if I'm being used as an incubator and my family no longer gets to make the decisions, this is my public service announcement for a mob to storm the hospital and rip my body from those machines and throw it on the steps of Congress. We're not even human to them. We're not even human, right? We're just vectors to create able-bodied workers to help fund their genocides and their yachts and their mansions. This has nothing to do with babies and being pro-life, and it is all about control.
You guys to make me a promise right now. If I am ever found to be brain dead and I am 3 weeks pregnant and the government forces for me and my dead body to carry a clump of cells to term, I need for you guys to storm whatever fucking hospital I am in and destroy my uterus. I need for you guys to remove any machinery that I am hooked up to. I'm saying this right now. This is my will. I need for you guys to go in there and make sure that my uterus is diced and sliced. I want a complete and utter removal of my reproductive organs. I want you to destroy it. Destroy it. I think it's so disgusting that is one of the most wonderful things that I can do as a female, but now it is hell. It is a curse that I have this organ within me. Just upon chance. I want that if that ever happens to me and I am dead and they force me to carry a clump of cells to term, I want you guys to destroy the lower half of my body. By any means necessary.
Adriana Smith did not deliver a baby. Verbiage is very important here. She did not deliver a baby. They C-sectioned that baby out of her without consent of the person that they had to cut open, and they took the baby out of her. Now the baby's in the NICU weighing 1 pound, 13 ounces, and is 3 months early. I don't know if any of y'all know what a premature baby looks like. That's a small baby. That baby is named Chance because hopefully it has a fighting chance in this world to live. With a story that is so crazy that I don't know if they'll psychologically be okay. They were in a dead woman's, their mother was dead when they had them. And America decided to experiment on their mother. That is sickening. There is no way that this country can be about pro-life when you are taking out babies from a dead woman's body. Black women, my call to you, stay safe. Do not be getting pregnant right now. Do not get pregnant right now. This is not the time to be getting pregnant in this unsafe, uncertain country. We do not have the luxury of being white in this country where we can see our white homegirls get pregnant and have baby after baby and be safe in this country. That is not us. Medical racism is way too high. And then on top of that, becoming Adriana Smith is very, very, very apparent. They used her as an experimental tool to see exactly how much they could do and how far they could get the baby to grow without needing the mother. And this is not the first time they've used black women as experimental tools. So please, hear me out. Be careful. Wrap it up when you're having sex. Do not get pregnant. And the reason why I'm saying don't get pregnant at all right now is because miscarriages happen. Miscarriages happen and they might criminalize you. Not only do miscarriages happen, but deformities happen and they still might make you carry that baby. And you might be the one to die. So be very careful on what you're willing to risk your life for. And to Adriana Smith's mother and father and family, I'm sending my love to you because this is such a tragedy in our community and we will continue to say her name.
I'm going to say something, y'all not going to like it, and I really don't give a shit. White women, black women are the litmus test for all the trauma, failed experiments, disrespect, all the heinous shit that happens to women. Black women are the litmus test. That means whenever this ends for Adriana Smith in Georgia, that woman that's being forced to incubate a baby while dead, they are going to do it to y'all next. We were the guinea pigs. They dissected us, they raped us, they abused us, they killed us first, and they wanted to see if anybody would fight it, and it looks like no one's fighting it, so guess what? Your turn is coming. And if you don't want to be the next Adriana Smith, I suggest y'all start doing something now. Not now, but right now, because y'all are gonna be the next ones. Figure this shit out. I don't know what y'all gotta do, but y'all better figure out how to save that woman to save yourselves.
The baby was just excavated from Adriana Smith's body. Adriana Smith, the Black woman in Georgia who died at 6 weeks pregnant, and then due to medical negligence, and then was kept as an incubator against her will, against her family's will, just had her baby excavated from her body. And now he is in intensive natal care. So, what does it mean to be grown in a dead body and to be born excavated of a dead body? And also, you know what this means for the future of all women. The American medical system has always used Black people and Black bodies as medical experiments, and this is offensive and degrading and a terror to Adriana Smith's personhood and who she was. She was a mother, she was a nurse, she was a friend, she was loved, and she has been abused and degraded, and her body has been experimented on. This will change the trajectory of reproductive rights in America. Please talk about this. Please be angry. Her family's GoFundMe is in my bio. Her family has to pay her medical bills after all of this. Her being inside of an incubator, all of the technology that was used for that, excavating the baby, keeping the baby alive. Her family has to pay all of this in medical bills that they did not consent to.
A pregnant woman in Georgia who was declared brain dead is being kept alive by ventilators because of the state laws banning abortions. No. This is sick.
Yeah, it is.
Because what they're doing is running an experiment.
Exactly.
And they always experiment on Black women.
Hey, listen.
Now, she couldn't get the medical attention that she needed that probably would have prevented this. Because what they like to say, drug seeking. Not patient in pain. Patient needs pain relief. Drug seeking. That's how the way they always view Black women. The medical field has an extremely outdated view on Black people. It is especially dangerous for Black women. And it is tenfold more dangerous when they become pregnant.
That is true. My grandma always said when she go to the hospital that they treat Black people like guinea pigs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My grandma always told me that since I was a little kid, bro.
Yeah, so this brings me back to Henrietta Lacks. Neither she nor her family were compensated for the extraction and use of the HeLa cells. So, revolutionized cancer research, cancer treatment and prevention. No compensation for the family. Experimented. Black women can be used for the benefit of the medical industry, but do not benefit from the medical industry at all. The processes that they're going to gain and learn from this.
Because she is being studied on.
She's being studied. She's being used as an incubator, a human incubator.
Yeah.
And this child, another Black child, little Black boy, is an experiment as well.
How is he functioning? Is he doing good? Is he still breathing? How's the heart rate? All that.
Black women have been the center of medical research since slavery.
Yeah.
All the advancements in gynecology.
Especially gynecology. Especially.
So when we talk about, when we go back to my first point about Black women and their concerns in this society, it's bigger than just what we can do to them as men. There's a whole host of enemies. The medical industry is a big enemy of Black women, using them for medical research, using them to experiment, using them to advance and find advancements in medicine, but don't benefit from the medicine. If she had a CT scan the way that she was supposed to, she probably would not be here. The headaches was the telltale sign. She's also pregnant, which means if we do care about our patients so much as they said, Let's make sure we run every test possible to make sure not only this woman is safe, but the baby that's inside her is safe. So we won't let you get rid of the baby, but we won't do anything. We won't do anything to help this baby get here safely.
Henrietta Lacks, an African-American woman, was a patient at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. During her treatment for cervical cancer in 1951, cells from her tumor were taken without her knowledge or consent. Those cells, known as HeLa cells, became the first immortal human cell line and have been crucial in numerous medical breakthroughs. The remarkable ability of HeLa cells to divide indefinitely has revolutionized fields such as cancer research, virology, and genetics. Despite the enormous contributions of HeLa cells to science, Henrietta Lacks remained unknown for decades until the 1970s. Her story brought to light important ethical considerations regarding patient consent, privacy, and the use of biological samples in research.
It's an experiment. The brain dead pregnant Black woman in Georgia is an experiment. They are experimenting on her a la Henrietta Lacks. Okay. They are wanting to see if they can incubate babies via women who are unconscious or brain dead. If they can use us as human incubators. And they're using a Black woman to do it first. Hope this helps.
Adriana Smith's delivery proves that not only are Black women the blueprint, but they are the experiment as well. There have been other documented attempts of women who were on life support carrying their baby to term. However, information as to what race they were, what the details are, were not disclosed. So according to Google, she is the first mother to carry a baby to birth via cesarean C-section. And not only does the family have to say their goodbyes to Adriana Smith, but they also have to welcome a 1-pound baby that's in a NICU. And they also have to worry about the baby's health. The baby's name is Chance. They stated that the baby is expected to be, quote unquote, okay. But we really don't know. And they're not giving much detail. It's just an unfortunate situation. It's, again, just proving that they love to experiment on us. And this is one of the ways they do it. Because this was wholeheartedly an experiment and just a way for Georgia to enforce their abortion law because they don't care about that child. They didn't care about Adriana. They don't care about that child. And as the child grows and the family needs assistance taking care of whatever needs that baby will have, people will complain because it's their tax dollars. And you need to do this and you need to work harder. If you have to work 4 jobs, get 4 jobs. Even though the circumstances were against the family. They had no say. They don't care financially how this baby is taken care of. They don't care about the baby's health. They only care about enforcing the Georgia abortion law, and that is it.
Adriana Smith, the brain-dead Black woman in Atlanta, Georgia, who was kept alive on life support against the wishes of her family in order to complete her pregnancy, has given birth. The baby was delivered via C-section and is 1 pound, 13 ounces. Her son was delivered on Friday the 13th via C-section and is currently in the NICU fighting for his life, although people are optimistic. Adriana Smith's family is expected to end her life support today. This has set a terrifying precedent for abortion laws and what they could do to families and communities going forward. Instead of being able to just celebrate this new life, her family is left grappling with her loss when they should have been able to come to terms with that long ago. And the nation is left to live in this new reality, this reality where women are expected to be nothing more than little baby incubators, no matter what it does to their health, regardless of their health, regardless of the fact if they're alive or not. If you can donate to the family's GoFundMe, because months and months of healthcare, both behind them and ahead of them, are expensive and funerals are expensive, then please donate. If you can donate to any of the termination funds across the nation, I encourage you to do so that people can continue to access this incredibly necessary healthcare. If you can, contact your legislatures, your representatives and senators, and speak out against any and all termination bills and laws in your state, and attend protests and boycotts and whatever you can. I wish I could end on a hopeful message because I'm a mom and I love babies and life is something that should be celebrated at the end of the day. But all I can think about is that there's a little boy in the NICU fighting for his life that will be of an unknown, a truly unknown quality, born under these horrific circumstances. And now there are 2 children who don't have their mother. And I'm just trying to find the pro-life thing that happened here that is actually pro-life and not just pro-birth. May Adriana Smith finally get to rest peacefully, and may her family finally get to begin this complicated, long journey ahead of them.
Hey everyone, we have a critical update on the Adriana Smith case. So as a reminder, Adriana, a nurse from Georgia, was declared brain dead in February while 8 weeks pregnant. On June 13th, her son named Chance was born via emergency C-section. He weighed just over 1 pound and is now in the NICU. Her family is preparing to say goodbye to Adriana this week. But here's the ethical crisis. Her family says that they were told the hospital had to keep Adriana on life support due to Georgia's abortion law, House Bill 481. That's false. The law does not require life support after brain death. Even the Georgia Attorney General clarified that removing life support is not considered abortion. Still, the hospital kept her on machines for 4 months. Her family had no legal say, no chance to advocate for her values or wishes. That's a fundamental violation of informed consent and medical ethics. And here's something that hasn't been talked about enough, right? The medications used to preserve Adriana's body likely harmed the fetus. Vasopressors, corticosteroids, sedation, and hormonal support can cause placenta insufficiency, impaired growth, brain bleeds, or long-term neurodevelopmental issues, especially in extreme prematurity. This baby was fighting before he was even born. This wasn't just about keeping Adriana's body alive. It was about forcing her body to become a vessel for a potential life without her consent and at a great risk to that very life. A 7-year-old boy now has to grow up without his mother. Her newborn son may face lifelong complications, and her mother is left saying, quote, "We should have had a choice," end quote. This case is what happens when vague, overly broad laws are weaponized against families, especially Black women. We have to do better legally, ethically, and medically.
Adriana Smith. Say her name, look up her story. A Georgia woman, 30 years old, was declared brain dead 90 days ago. But because she was 9 weeks pregnant, the doctors are keeping her body alive as a literal incubator until she is 32 weeks. And there is literally no guarantee that that child will survive either. Her child, her son, her living child right now just thinks mommy is sleeping. Her family's advocating for her right now, and they're being told there is nothing you can do because of the heartbeat bill. This woman was a nurse, a mother, someone's partner, someone's daughter, and the state of Georgia says you don't matter. We're in charge now. She's been dead for 90 days. And you want to keep her body alive another 11 weeks for what? To prove a point? At this point, you're just fucking experimenting on women again. Like, you don't care at all about the infant in her body. You don't care. You're experimenting. You want to see what happens, right? Y'all are fucking sick. And you know what? At this point, I really do feel like this nation might be a lost cause.
If this was a white woman, this wouldn't have happened. The Adriana Smith situation here in Atlanta absolutely horrifies me for the status of healthcare in the United States. And not just the status of healthcare, but the status of reproductive rights, bodily autonomy, women's rights. It horrifies me to see that a Black woman who was pronounced brain dead in February was kept alive simply to incubate this fetus. The fact that a Black woman was kept alive to incubate this fetus beyond and aside from her own wishes, aside from her family's own wishes, the hospital made the decision to keep this woman alive because of legislation here in the United States, here in Georgia. it absolutely astonishes me that even after the Attorney General of the state of Georgia came out and said, hey, this law doesn't actually say that there is a stipulation that a mother be kept alive after brain death because of, a pregnancy. And honestly, I've done a lot of thinking about the whole situation, and I work in public health and I work in understanding reasons for medical mistrust, reasons for hesitancy related to medical procedures, vaccinations, things like that. And this right here is the exact type of thing that causes medical mistrust, especially among marginalized and historically unrespected populations. If this was a white woman, this wouldn't have happened. This was blatant experimentation. This was blatant proof of concept that we can keep a pregnant woman on life support and gestate that pregnancy until it's viable. That's what this is. And it's honestly disgusting. The blatant disrespect for Adriana and her family in this entire situation is so upsetting. Adriana had an advance directive. She did not want to be kept on life-saving support. She didn't want that. And the blatant disregard for her own wishes is extremely concerning, not just from a women's rights and a reproductive rights perspective, but if they can do this to a pregnant woman, who else are they going to do it to? And as I mentioned before, this is proof of concept. So as our country becomes more and more authoritarian, more and more disrespectful of women's rights, more and more focused on women as incubators for fetuses, we're going to see more of this. So spread the news. Make sure you're talking about this with your friends and family. Make sure you're talking with your legislators about this, because this type of thing cannot occur.
She's dead. Why are you doing CPR? We have to keep her blood circulating. Oh, what? Look, the mom's dead. But as long as you pump that bag, her baby's still alive. Oh, so it's time to deliver the baby. Right here, right now?
Right here, right now. Somebody page Prep 911. Tell them to get down here. 10 blades.
Wait! Betadine. We forgot to put betadine on her belly so that she's sterile.
Don't need it.
No, we do, because it's...
We don't need it.
She's dead, Joe. Mom's dead. There's nothing left to protect her from. He's out. He's out.
He's not crying. Arizona.
I know, not crying. Krev, stand by. Bailey, Cord.
Krev, how is he? Alex?
You need some help over there.
Would everybody shut up? Come on, little guy. Come on. 1 minute Apgar is he's okay. Good breath sounds, heart strong.
Strong lungs, too.
He's only been alive for 2 hours, and he's already lost his mom.
Oh, and just so we're clear, Adriana Smith, the woman in Georgia that's being used as a human incubator against the family's wishes because of that bullshit-ass heartbeat bill, she's not being kept alive. She's dead, and she's been dead. She's not in a coma. She is dead.